Morning guys, another gorgeously sunny day here in the UK, and my head feels a little bit less sore than it did yesterday, so I'm sure you're very happy to hear that. A couple of things I wanted to talk about today really quickly, hopefully quickly because I've got to be at work soon, is audition nerves. I see loads of posts and loads of questions and loads of people going, oh, how do I deal with nerves at auditions? And okay, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to break this down into two parts. The second part, I'm going to talk about tips to deal with audition nerves right at the end, where you're almost like standing at the doorway about to go in. But what I want to talk about first of all is, what about getting rid of those audition nerves right from the root, right from the base? And I believe there's two things you need to do. Two things you need to do that helps you cope with those audition nerves, and so you don't actually get them. So instead of actually doing that whole firefighting thing when you're at the audition and things, I'm getting really nervous and tight, is that there's two things you should do before you even get into that situation. One, I believe, is preparation. Is know your lines, know what you're going to say, know who you are meeting. Find out about the person you are meeting. Find out about that casting director. Find out about that director, that cinema. Whoever you're going to meet. You've been told who you're going to meet. Find out about them. Know a little bit about them. So if they ask you questions, you can then give a good answer and maybe refer to something that they've produced, maybe something that they've directed, and it shows that you're really interested in the project, which obviously you are because you're auditioning for it. But know your material, know your lines as well, that if you do the washing up or the hoovering, you can do your lines. You've got to know your lines as well as if you're doing two other tasks, like you're walking down the street, knowing your lines, you're reciting them in your head, you know your lines so well, you can do them back to front, upside down, I've done stuff on lines before, but you've got to really know those lines. Okay, I want to give you a little story which goes back to when I was at drama school in my second year. I was given a project to do over the summer. I was given a speech to learn over the summer and then prepare to do for the time when I come back to the drama school for the next year. I was a little bit lackadaisical. I was a bit like, I didn't learn it as well as I could. On the day of actually doing it, I was so petrified and so nervous because I didn't know those lines. I didn't know them, and I had to stand up in front of my whole class, which I'd done hundreds of times before, done stuff, and I didn't know them, and I actually ended up that my whole body started to convulse, my legs started to twitch, and I collapsed because I'd got myself so nervous and so anxious about it that I couldn't do it. And the reason was because I wasn't prepared. I had done my homework. I learned a lot from that. I learned a lot that, hi Michelle, you good? I learned a lot from doing that, because you need to prepare those speeches, you need to prepare those lines. If you've only got 2 or 3 lines for a commercial, learn those lines, know exactly what those lines are, know what they're about. Go through my video on It's All in the Lines, it will give you loads more tips. So that's the first thing, is preparation. Know what lines you're saying, know the lines you're saying, know who you're meeting, know where you've got to be. Don't have that drama of going, I don't know where this casting office is. Do your research, find out where it is. Arrive early, be prepared, relax. Okay, that's one of the first things to dealing with those audition nerves. The second thing to deal with audition nerves is what I call putting weight on it. Don't put weight on your audition. Okay, in other words, don't go, oh God, I have to get this job. Oh my God, I've not had an audition for 7 years. Don't put weight on it. Don't put expectation on yourself. Think of it when you go and see friends and you go out to dinner and that, you don't get nervous about that, because there's no expectation. There's no you're not expecting something to come of it. Okay, put it into another scenario. It's probably a little bit easier to look at. A dating scenario. If there's somebody you're not attracted to, you're probably more comfortable walking up to them and start talking to them because you're not putting any weight on it. If there's somebody you're attracted to, people go, you know, if I'm go to a girl and I'm going, okay, you know, I want to meet this person, then I get nervous. Then I get nervous because I know I'm putting weight on it. You've got to stop putting weight on those things. You've got to relax on those things and stop putting weight and expectation on them. Same goes for auditions. Revealed a little bit about myself there, but you know, hey, never mind. But you've got to stop putting expectations on the audition. Sometimes auditions are just an opportunity to meet the casting director, to meet the people. They want to see you. They've seen your picture. They've maybe seen some videos of you. They want to meet you. You may not be suitable for that project, so why stress yourself about it? They might have you in mind for something else that you know nothing about. So it's your opportunity to just meet the casting directors, do your stuff, get out of the room. That's the thing. It's don't put expectation on it. Don't put that thing of like, I'm not an audition ready. Don't put that on it. Don't put that, oh, I really need a job. I really need a job. I really need a job. Don't put expectation on it. This is what really, really important. What you'll find, if you do those two things, you have preparation and you go to your audition not putting expectation on it. And also one thing, give yourself a reward. Say, okay, after my audition, I'm going to go and get a really nice cup of coffee with all the trimmings and everything. Give yourself a reward, because then that's just you saying, right, I've done it. But don't put expectation on it. Just give yourself something to look forward to. Look forward to after the audition. You know, these things are, dealing with the audition nerves is one thing. Preventing them is part of the trick. I get excited when I go to an audition. I don't get nervous. I get excited, and I have to get a little bit excited because this is what I love to do. I love to show what I can do. I love to show, meet casting directors. I love to see, hi Richard, I hope you're good. I love to do what I do in front of people, because then if I get a good response, then I feel like, okay, I'm doing it right. I might not be suitable for their project, but I'm doing it right. I look for feedback. I look for things like that. You don't always get feedback from auditions, so don't expect it, but I look to see what people's reactions are. If they laugh in the right places, it's going okay. If they laugh in the wrong places, then, you know, maybe not so well. But so 3 things. Be prepared, don't put any weight on it, and give yourself something to do afterwards. Give yourself a reward afterwards. Okay, the second part of this video, I better go to work in a minute. The second part of this video is actually to do with dealing with them when you get to the door. Okay, if you get to the door and your whole body is tensing up, what you've got to do, and this is what I've been told by a few different people. Hi Joe, morning, hope you're good. That's Joe, my voice tutor from many years ago. What you've got to do, if you're standing in front of that audition room and that door, and you've got those nerves, I mean, we've dealt about the stuff to do with the preparation. Be prepared for your audition, be ready to go in, don't put any weight on it, don't put any expectation on it, but be ready for it. But then if you're at the door and you're still doing that, what I do, if I ever get those just little feeling that I think, oh, I'm getting a bit nervous here, I will then tense up every bone in my body. I will clench my fists, I will clench my toes, I will try and squeeze every single thing out of my body in that sort of 5-10 seconds, hold it for 10 seconds and then release it. What that does, that makes your mind concentrate on something different. Take your mind off what the audition is. Think about, oh, I'm going to go for a coffee afterwards, I'm going to do this afterwards, or I'm excited. Think of channeling those audition nerves into excitement, because you are excited. You're excited to meet new casting directors, you're excited to meet new people, because you don't know what they've got in mind. They may have you in mind for something else, but they want to meet you. So think about it that way. Okay, there's lots of other people talk about different audition nerve techniques. I've heard of one where you just count backwards from 30 to 1 really slowly, because what it does, it then flicks your mind onto something else. But my advice to you is try not to have your nerves in the first place by being prepared, by being ready for what you're going to do, by being having your presentation ready, by not putting any weight on it, any expectation on it. Just go and meet new casting directors and new people, or a casting director you've seen before, and they go, yeah, I usually call you in. I've called you in about 10 times. This project is probably right for you, maybe not. The casting directors sometimes have no sway. Well, most of the time, they have no sway in what the directors think, but what the casting director can do, they can say to the director, oh yeah, no, I've seen him loads of times, those different sort of things, and he'd be great for this. So just show up, be yourself, be good, be rehearsed, be professional, be courteous. If the rule about shaking hands is a funny one, if they get up to shake your hand, go and shake their hand. If they don't get up, then just sort of do like a little wave, hi, something like that. You've acknowledged they're there, then they don't feel comfortable. I've seen auditions where, the director looks more uncomfortable than me because the director feels they have to go up and shake everybody's hand. Probably after about 400 of those, they're exhausted. But most of the time you go into a room and they're all sat down, and there's sometimes a big table in front of them. They don't want to get up and shake your hand, or there's 8 people there. They're not all going to get up and shake your hand. So don't go around the room just shaking everybody's hand. Just acknowledge them, be professional, be ready for what you're going to do, be courteous, somebody just tried to phone me then. Know a little bit about your director and be ready. Okay, so somebody just called me from work, so I better get a move on. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please check out my other videos, and see you again soon. Take care, bye.